All right, we're about to head out to the Civil Rights Institute. All right, Korean American Studies scholars, great job today, getting to take one step more, learning the story, learning the history, but I don't want you to just be history scholars. I want you to be history makers. So can't wait to see your content that will go out and educate others and benefit others. So use your 5 C's, let's do an amazing job on those things.
Yeah, this is just like a really good experience, and we would love to do this every day and get the real world experience along with school. I mean,
Hello, this is Dr. Jeff, and today I am headed out to Riverside, where our Korean American Studies class has a field trip to the Civil Rights Institute. So we're going to go there. The exhibit is up. I mean, how many of you have seen an exhibit that helps to tell the story of Korean Americans? And my guess is many people have not had the opportunity, but glad that there's a space to help tell the story.
All right, we're here with the Korean American Studies from Anaheim Union High School District class with Dr. Kim, and we're super excited to be here at the Civil Rights Institute.
Thank you guys for being here. Cooperation, faith, and the leadership of one man, Dosun On Chang Ho. And if you have time to spend in Riverside sometime, we have a Main Street pedestrian mall down there. And along that mall, it's populated with statues of civil rights leaders such as King, Chavez, Gandhi, but also we have a statue of Dosun On Chang Ho.
Yes, we're really excited that you guys have joined us today. And I'm not quite sure because I joined halfway through when Robert was speaking, but something that's just really important to us, so I want folks to know that this space was really built for and by community. This is really an ode. The building we're in Mission Heritage Plaza is the partnership. So 3-part partnership. You may not realize this, but right above us is apartments. There's 60 units of affordable housing, and just around the bend is another 12. So 72 units, which made a little less than 1% of the dent in housing that's needed in the city of Riverside. We have this lovely space, which is our exhibition center. We will have a diversity center, which you guys will be in a little bit later, which is our community space. And then on the other side of that is where Fair Housing Council of Riverside County.
I didn't know about this until now. Thank you, Dr. Kim. But it's super awesome to see the history and how there's roots in the Inland Empire with the Korean American Studies.
In the late 1800s, Japan has declared that Korea is part of its world, its protectorate.
I'm appreciating so much our docent, who is an expert on the Korean American story and telling it to our students in such an enthusiastic and powerful way. He shared about how oftentimes we hear stories about immigrants coming to the United States, but not as many stories about being successful here in the United States. And so here we are hearing about some amazing success stories.
There was so much money here because of the naval orange industry. This entire valley was covered with oranges, and people were getting rich. Dosun loved creating organizations. Major orange freeze, and it decimates the orange groves. There's no more work. And as he's going through, he finds these 2 words, Korean settlement. And what? How is this possible? And he starts doing some research, starts asking around other academics, and he creates a bit of a controversy. Because this is astounding to people in this field. Missionaries from the United States going over there, Presbyterian missionaries. And remember, the Koreans lost their language. The Japanese took it from them. They could no longer learn their own alphabet, their own language. So these missionaries come in and say, hey, we want to teach you your own language. Why don't you read this book that we've written in your language? Oh, sure, what's the name of the book? Oh, the Bible. So they give them the Bible to learn their language, and thus it's also converting them to Christianity. So those missionaries that are in Korea, oh, you want to go to the United States? Let me give you a letter of introduction. Let me tell you where the church is when you get to Riverside. So it provided a bridge when they came over here. And when they got here, they already had community because they could go to the church and get help and get support and get connections. They had the Korean National Association meeting down here, and here's a picture of them. And this waterway here is very famous in Riverside. It's called the Gage Canal. It brought water basically from the San Bernardino Mountains into Riverside, and it's what provided the irrigation for Riverside to have all of these navel orange trees and create all that wealth here. Dosan creates this group, they have this meeting, and this meeting is very important because they create the Daejeon Declaration of Solidarity. He has already created the Gonyam Hayafwe, forgive my pronunciation, another organization trying to create interest in creating a free Korea. And what they're doing here is creating some of the founding documents, the principles, their Declaration of Independence from Japan. So you know, he creates Pachapa Camp, that starts around 1905. But he's not in Riverside full time. He gets money donated, and then he travels the world. He's going to all these different countries. Sort of like Zelensky going around right now trying to get help for independence for Ukraine. Bolshevik, a communist. And he is deported from the United States. Which is sort of sad because his wife was pregnant at the time. So the Chinese turn Dosan over to the Japanese, who take him back to a prison in Korea, where they treat him horribly. They starve him, he's freezing cold, they beat him, and he ends up near death. Ralph is the son he never met. Ralph ends up an actor, and he's in those 2 shows. But he's not the most famous actor in the family. That's Philip. Back in the early part of the 1900s, Hollywood's getting going. Remember, there's a lot of anti-immigrant feelings, especially against Asians. So there weren't a whole lot of Asian actors in Hollywood. So the Korean Labor Bureau gets a call from these apricot growers out in Hemet. Hey, could you send us 11 workers? Sure, they're on the train right now. So they go out. The train pulls into the Hemet train station, and waiting for them is the white sheriff, is the white mayor, are the angry white townspeople, and they are screaming, yelling, threatening. You're not going, you Japanese people are not going to take work from our children. This is the white man's valley. And they were terrified, and they just get back on the train and go away. Word of this Hemet Valley incident reaches some Japanese diplomats that happen to be in the Southern California area. And they see a chance to make a stand. And they complain to William Jennings Bryan. And that was a big boost for Korean national identity, to be recognized as Koreans in this country and not as Japanese subjects. So pretty cool turn of events there. Around the corner here, the Koreans made sure they were bringing families over, that they were marrying when they got here. Oh, you're a single man? Let's get you a bride. Here, look at these pictures. Here, a picture's been sent over. Do you like this one? Do you like this one? So here's an example of a picture bride. And in the 40s, 50s, a gas company buys up the land. And it's now a parking lot. And you can see the parking lot there. But after Professor Chang did his research, he goes to the city and says, look at this rich history you have here. We need to commemorate it somehow. And so our Koreatown location received the first Point of Cultural Interest designation for the city of Riverside. And that's where this area is. And if you capture this QR code on your phone, when you go over there, open it up, and as you move, you will see Koreatown recreated in front of you in virtual reality. Because you can come to exhibitions, and let's say you want to learn about San Bernardino photography now, that you'll walk in from the bus stop, like in a video game, come to the front doors, the doors will open, and you can walk the avatar around and click on things, and they'll blow up so you can see them better. That's pretty cool stuff. We also have oral histories alongside some of our exhibits. So all this is available to you. Our events calendar is on here. So this is a way for you to keep in contact with us.
And today we're having a collaboration between the Yeo Kim Center along with the Civil Rights Institute and of course our own district, where we're having a chance to visit this Korean American Communities exhibit.
Does anyone know public history is. So oftentimes, sometimes people will ask me like, oh, do you study like the history of public places? Or it's, in some cases it's true, but really what a public historian is it's someone who is really invested in learning about history and then sharing that with the public, but also working directly with the community to have this sort of what we call co-creation, right, of new histories.
My name is Carol Park. You might recognize me from one of those little panels. I work at the Young Hope Kim Center for Korean American Studies at UC Riverside. I'm also a professor at California Indian Nations College and adjunct faculty everywhere else. So what does that mean? I'm a dork. I love things. I love to read. How did you get here? How did your parents get here? Do you guys know? Right? It's something that you might want to ask them later in life. You might be too young right now. My mom didn't tell me until I was much, much older. But I had to ask her 10,000 times, Mom, why did you come here? Mom, why did Dad come here? Mom. Right?
About history helps us learn about ourselves, right? About how systems were built. Why is that thing the way it is? How did this get here? All of those questions and answering them then help us understand, well, how is it like, why is the present the way it is? And also, most importantly, what might be things we can do differently to build a future that departs from this? Or maybe it takes a few good things along the way.
And perhaps that's where our class can help. So in addition to the digital panels that have already been created, perhaps they can create some social and some content that could help amplify the story of the Civil Rights Institute and the Korean American community exhibits that's being showcased in that space.
And so when Dr. Kim was like, hey, I want my students who are to come and to do projects and really dive into the materials that you have here, we thought that was fantastic and also might be a way that we could also maybe showcase a few folks who do the assignment and who want to be featured in our educational resources.
Everybody has a story, everybody can share the story, and it's good to see historical facts and historical artifacts being shown.
Part of the assignment, we also might be having some permission forms if you're interested in having whatever you create as part of that assignment up on Civil Rights Institute's digital archive or on our website. We'd be interested in using that to further share.
I am one of the co-authors of the textbook you'll be reading, so my apologies in advance. It's a very short textbook, but it is a concise history about Korean Americans in the United States. So you're going to learn some very interesting things.
Yeah, so what best, to have our own youth, the Korean American youth, to be able to showcase the history that they're learning and then bringing it out forth through digital content media or through storytelling, writings, all these artifacts that they're creating. It's super excited for them to really showcase it on their day-to-day. So they get to learn about themselves, their families, their actual upbringing and their parents' upbringing and how they got here as well, and then bringing it forward to the community.
It was very informational. I learned a lot about things that I didn't know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us here learned a lot. We're very grateful for that.
It's really cool. I think going to a place like this really sparks conversation because we were not only able to learn about the Korean American history, but it made us wonder our own history. We're not Korean, but it's interesting how maybe our parents got here or so many other people. So it's really cool that this opportunity was here for us and we were able to ask questions and learn so much more about the community that we ourselves live in.
We were trying to talk to each other and then do a mock interview, and then we realized we don't even know the full story about how we got here in the first place. And I think that's a really, really important thing that we should know.
Something we will ask our parents
yes.
very soon.
Spencer Foundation, the food has come. It is looking very delicious. Thank you so much for your generosity that our students and staff out here get to enjoy this amazing experience. And then on top of that, get an amazing meal as well. So it's also a collaboration with the Civil Rights Institute. Many of their scholars who are there who will be supporting us with helping us understand about curating and understanding the story and the history and giving us the challenge of creating that short form video.
Thank you, Civil Rights Institute.
And then of course UC Riverside and the Young Hope Kim Center who
Civil Rights Institute Mints.